Let's talk about the effortless manifestation technique. And I know this term might sound a little bit confusing, and I get ya, because in essence, I'll say that every single manifestation technique is in some kind effortless, and at some point is effortless, because the whole job of the manifestation techniques is to help you seamlessly bring what you want into existence, into physical reality. So, yes, I'd say that every manifestation technique is effortless at some level, but I like to call the one I'm about to present you effortless because it really doesn't require you to do much. Like you don't even have to make a vision board. Like you don't have to even like grab a pen and write something down on a piece of paper. Like you don't have to burn anything. Like you don't have to even repeat anything. Like it's not about affirmations or anything like this. It's really like so in this meaning it's effortless, and that's what we're going to talk about. But before we'll talk about the actual manifestation technique, which is the theta brainwave state manifestation technique, we have to talk a little bit about brainwaves. So technically there are 4 different types of brainwaves. However, there's also the 5th type, and I'm gonna tell you all about the 5th type in a minute. But general human mind of a normal human being goes through 4 main stages of brainwaves. So we have the beta, we have the alpha, we have the theta, and we have the delta. So beta brainwaves are our day-to-day life brainwaves. So when we're just like doing and performing stuff all day long, we are usually experiencing the beta brainwaves. So these are the brainwaves of higher activity. These are the brainwaves of just us being ourselves and doing stuff and not necessarily focusing on anything else, not necessarily focusing on the bigger picture, just us basically running on our pretty little autopilot programs, which we all have installed in our subconscious minds, right? So beta brainwaves are just also connected with this state of survival, with a lot of stress, and like, yes, your brain should go through beta brainwaves. Like you're a human being and you should experience beta brainwaves. However, not all the time. So you have to kind of like teach your mind how to switch through different states of brainwaves. We're going to talk about it in a second. So the second types of brainwaves, we have the alpha brainwaves. And alpha brainwaves are connected with the state of relaxation and daydreaming, and you kind of like slowing down and witnessing the present moment and really becoming aware of your surroundings. So these are the alpha brainwaves. So you naturally enter the alpha brainwaves, let's say when you have a mindful walk outside, or when you're just like sitting alone by yourself and just like really like witnessing silence. When you're reading a book, like you're also in alpha brainwaves. When you're daydreaming, when you're thinking about pleasant things, like this is when your brain kind of like slows down from this like hectic beta brainwaves, and you enter the alpha brainwaves. And the more relaxed you are, the more peaceful you are, the more peaceful your vibration becomes and your entire emotional state of being becomes. And then we have the theta brainwaves and the delta brainwaves. So these are very interesting states of brainwaves. Theta brainwaves you enter just before you go to sleep and right after you wake up, and delta brainwaves are the types of brainwaves you enter when you're actually in the deep sleep. But here in this manifestation technique, which I've already told you, it's called the theta state manifestation technique. And as you can assume, it's all about utilizing the power of theta brainwaves. And why are the theta brainwaves so powerful? Well, theta is such a special state of consciousness. Like you experience theta right before you go to sleep, as I've mentioned, and right before you wake up. And this is this like drowsy state when you kind of feel like you're falling asleep, but you're kind of not because you're also like partially awake. So This is this state of brainwaves. And this is such a special state because during the theta brainwave state, you have the direct access to your subconscious mind, and you also have the direct connection to the infinite mind and the universal mind. So theta's brainwaves is like this gateway to higher dimensions. And that's why using theta brainwaves for manifesting is so effective, because your conscious mind is not there to interfere with any negative beliefs or limiting thought patterns. It's just you, your subconscious mind, and the infinite mind. So you can actually like witness this divine connection. And Neville Goddard would talk about this all the time. During every of his lectures, he'd be just like, when you fall asleep, assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Like, if you've ever heard any of the Neville Goddard's lectures, you're definitely familiar with this technique. Like, of course, he didn't know about brainwaves back then, because now we live in a little bit more advanced society. But nevertheless, he was telling his students all about this technique. Like, when you wake up or when you fall asleep, this is such a special connection with your mind. So nourish this connection and assume the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel all the feelings the state of the wish fulfilled will bring you. So this is so powerful that Neville Goddard used to teach this before science actually grabbed what's going on and decipher all of these little stages of different brainwaves, right? So that's why you can use the theta state manifestation to your advantage. Utilize this magical time before you go to sleep and right after you wake up to flood your subconscious mind with the images and feelings of the certain thing you want to manifest in your reality. So it can be like the bigger picture of the life you want to live, the type of life you want to live, or it can be like a specific thing you want to manifest. It doesn't matter. What matters is that during this connection with your subconscious mind, you really have the chance to talk directly to your subconscious mind and talk directly to the infinite mind. And that's why it's going to manifest 10 times faster, because your conscious mind is not interfering in any way. You have this clear connection, this clear pathway. So use this pathway because you have an access, like a free access to this pathway every single night before you fall asleep and every single morning before you wake up. So during this time, visualize the scene of the thing you want to experience, and it doesn't have to be super complicated scene, and it doesn't have to be a super long scene. In fact, the shorter the scene, the better, because you can just like have this scene on repeat in your mind until you fall asleep, or until you decide that you have to like wake up, like really wake up and go about your day, right? So let's say, just for the sake of this example, let's say you want to manifest a new car. A new car is something you want to manifest, and you have already chosen like a specific type of a car, but you have no idea how to get this car because, I don't know, it's like too expensive and you feel like you're not able to get it. Now, guess what? Let go of this limiting beliefs, because you can have anything you want because you are the freaking creator of your reality. So let go of this lack mentality, because you can have anything you want, and you can use the theta state manifestation technique to bring this car or whatever it is you want into existence in your reality, and you can very effortlessly and seamlessly make it a part of your reality. So let's say you're manifesting this like brand new car. So before you go to sleep, just think about all the feelings having this card would bring you. Like, you would feel so abundant, you would feel so joyful, you would feel so happy because you'd be the owner of this car, right? And when you emphasize all of these emotions about this car, visualize yourself getting into this car, getting in the driver's seat of your new car. Just make the scene very realistic. use all your senses, engage all your senses, and at the same time feel all of these emotions. And in this state, while repeating this mental picture over and over again in your mind, in this state, fall asleep, just like Neville Goddard said. And this is how this image, how this scene, through this like clear pathway between you, your subconscious mind, and the infinite mind, is being sent into the universe. You send this beautiful, clear intention, this beautiful, clear, energetic pattern. And since your conscious mind and your limiting beliefs are not interfering, the connection is clear, the energy is clear. So the technique is going to work. And you can do the same thing right after you wake up. Again, visualize your car and feel all of the emotions having this car will bring you, and allow yourself to really engage all your senses in this like visualization, in this feeling. And that's pretty much it. Like, you don't have to do anything else than just like practicing this visualization. And if you're skeptical of this, you can use an exercise Neville Goddard would give to his students. He would basically tell his students to visualize climbing a ladder every single night before falling asleep. And every single one of his students, in some way in his reality, manifested a ladder. And they actually manifested this ladder very quickly, because it was just like this trial thing, and they really weren't creating any resistance. So if you don't believe this manifestation technique, then just try to manifest your own ladder first. Just use the Neville Goddard's exercise, or try the manifestation technique right away, because it really works, and it's just such a magical technique, and you really don't have to do much. It's just like you can use this little window of theta brainwave state right after you wake up and right before you go to sleep. Just give this technique a chance. And there's also another way you can access the theta state for a much longer period of time. So there are many different meditations you can find on YouTube that utilize the power of theta state, and they actually use different binaural bits to induce and evoke the theta state in your mind. So if you want to stay in the theta state for, let's say, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, just like look up these videos on YouTube, this theta meditations, and this will like consciously give you and allow you to access the theta brainwave state. However, you don't necessarily have to do this, because you might naturally reach the theta state before you go to sleep and right after you wake up. But if you want to just have something extra, you can also use this theta state meditations that are going to just really evoke the theta state in your mind. And I was also about to tell you about this fifth type of brainwaves, which are even more powerful than the theta brainwaves, that our minds don't naturally go into the state that I'm talking about, gamma state of brainwaves. Like, this is such a hectic, divine, like very conscious, very awakened state of brainwaves that usually monks in the temples who spend like every day of their life meditating reach this state of brainwaves. However, like, again, there are certain types of meditations you can learn and you can practice to access the gamma state of brainwaves. And again, if you're interested in this, I highly recommend Dr. Joe Dispenza's books that teach you different types of meditations, as well as just looking up any gamma state meditation you can find. And it's not like you're immediately going to reach gamma and brainwave state, because it requires this like high awareness, and it's a state of super consciousness, but you can naturally like teach your mind how to access the gamma brainwave state. And this is such a powerful state for rejuvenation, and also like almost an instant manifestation. So if it's something that interests you, that by no means try gamma brainwaves as well. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you will practice your divine connection with your subconscious mind during the theta brainwave phase. And if you resonate with this audio anyhow, then please give it a big thumbs up. And thank you for listening.